Hello, Year 6. I wanted to take this as an opportunity to talk you through our starting at booklet, which you will have received this morning, among all of the other things to do with today's Taster Day. I am hopeful that you can recognise this voice now after all of the videos that have been put on for today's Taster Day, but just in case you are not yet familiar with this unusual accent, I am Miss McWhinney and I will be your year leader when you start with us in September. Now, the starting at booklet is tailored for each form. So it is printed and created in your form colours, as well as having messages that are specific to you based on the form that you are in. Now, each starting at booklet starts with messages from senior staff that are very much involved with you as Year 7. So you will find a message from Mrs. Toos, Mrs. Kirkham, Miss Patel and myself. Then, after our messages, you will have a message from your form tutor. Now, on the screen is a list of the amazing tutor team that we have in Year 7, and I hope that their message just gives you a little bit more reassurance during this really uncertain time. However, please know that they are really looking forward to seeing you in September and becoming the new Year 7 team. But that leads me on to the next part of our booklet, and that is a message from our current Year 7 forms. Now, Miss Patel and I gave the current Year 7s the challenge of working as a form to think of what they wanted you to know for when you were starting with us. And they have written a message as a form to you as the new Year 7 Astra or Year 7 Castle and so on. And that is something that I hope is of further reassurance to you, because only a year ago they were in your shoes and they very much know what it feels like to be in your position and starting secondary school and all of the worries and all of the excitement and maybe all of the questions that you might have. So have a read through them, and I hope that gives you that little bit of reassurance, as well as that little bit more confidence in the fact that it will be okay. And it is my job to make sure that it is. Now, alongside their form message, they also have made some artwork for you, and this is just a little quick overview of some of the short messages that have come from Year 7 students to try and support you with the transition to Herts Essex, as well as give you that encouragement of all of the things that you need to hear for starting with us at secondary school. So have a look through them, and I hope it's just another little touch that can make this a little less daunting for you all. Now, moving through our booklet, I want to draw your attention to page 6. Now, on page 6, we have got all of the information to do with the 6 houses here at Herts Essex. Now, each house is displayed within our school logo, but you may be sitting thinking, okay, well, I've been put into Forest or I've been put into Astra, but what will that actually mean? So I wanted to take this as an opportunity to talk you through the house system at Herts Essex. And although this is going to be a very brief overview, I hope that this will just give you that little bit more of an understanding as what it really means to be part of that form. Now, each year we do a lot of different events that ultimately end up in the presentation of the House Cup, and the House Cup is awarded to the house with the most house points at the end of the year. Now, to get house points, you as an individual can be recognised by your teacher for meeting expectations, doing a really good piece of work, or showing any of our school values. And where a teacher or a member of staff feels that you have demonstrated the school values, they can award you with a house point. However, we also offer termly challenges, and these are offered by a lot of different departments throughout the school. So we can have music competitions, art competitions, DT competitions, the list goes on, and you can get involved with any of these house competitions to try and earn house points for your house. Also, in PE, we run inter-house competitions each term, and these will be in different sports where you can compete against all of the other houses to try and again earn points towards your house and towards that House Cup. Now, What I will also be doing, because I am a PE teacher and I get a little bit competitive, is running competitions within year 7. And that will be looking at so many different things. And I don't want to give the game away yet, but watch this space. There will be some competitions within year 7 as well. So let's see who can step up to the mark for that. What you will also have throughout the year is a house assembly, and this is where everybody that is part of Forest or everyone that is part of SEACS gets together, and that really builds that house identity. So everyone from year 7 right the way through to year 13 is put into one of our 6 houses, and you will all work collaboratively to get as many house points as possible and get you as a house a little bit closer towards that house cup. Now, the final thing that I wanted to draw your attention to is potentially the biggest day in the school calendar. Of course, I am biased as a PE teacher, but Sports Day is one of the biggest counters towards that house cup. So you will compete in so many different events and you will be getting points upon points upon points to go towards your house and see if you can help in winning that house cup. Now, on Firefly, which is our school platform and where homework is set and where teachers can give information to you, we have a little bar chart that gets updated regularly on our home screen of Firefly. Now, I have just pulled this from Firefly a short while ago, and although this was dated in January, this gives you a little bit of an overview as to how the house standings were at the start of 2020. So you can see it's very close between SEACS and Lee, and at the minute we are just finalising all of the totting up of the points to see who will win the House Cup this year. So keep an eye out on the school Twitter to see who that is. Now, moving on to some of the activities that we have set you in our Starting At booklet, you can see just a quick screenshot of some of the activities that are part of this Starting At booklet. So we have our word search on page 7, which is filled with key members of staff, key places, phrases and words that are very much to do with starting at Herts and Essex. So feel free to turn to page 7 and see if you can complete that word search. Page 8 is for those of you that might be a little bit clued up on riddles, and it is a little challenge for you to try and work out the words that we are talking about. Page 13 gives you information on our helping hand activity, and this is where I would like you to think about all of the information you've been given throughout Taster Day, and it's not just necessarily through the videos released today, and see if you can think of all of the people that could help you when you start at Herts and Essex. Page 14 is our letter to our future self activity, and I'm going to spend a few seconds just talking to you about this. What I would like you to do with this task is think about some of the questions that I have asked at the bottom and write yourself a letter to you at the end of year 7. What I would then like you to do is bring this letter in with you when you start in September, and your form tutors are going to collect this and keep it almost as a little bit of a time capsule. And at the end of year 7, we are going to look back through the letters that you wrote to yourself, and it will be such a lovely way to reflect on our first year at Herts and Essex. So you might be reading that back thinking, why was I ever worried about that? Or equally, there might be things that you didn't even think of that you have had to juggle. And it will be so lovely to see the journey that you guys have come on throughout your first year with us at secondary school. So please do get involved with that. Please answer as much as you can of the questions that I've given you as a little bit of a pointer, but write that letter, be as honest as you can, and then we can reflect on that this time next year. The last activity I would like to draw your attention to is on page 16. Now, today we have introduced our science taster session, and you will have had an opportunity to get stuck into some experiments, but also as part of that taster session for science, they would have drawn your attention to the Summer Science 2020 challenges. So page 16 gives you an overview of them, and I really would encourage you to get involved in them and get your science brains ticking over the summer break. Feel free to pause this presentation now, go to any of the pages that I've identified and complete some of these activities now, or equally you can complete these activities at the end of this presentation. Now, as we move to pages 9 and 10 of our Starting At booklet, I want to draw your attention to our All About Me information. Over the summer, I would like to set you the challenge of preparing a presentation, a show and tell presentation, a video, whatever you like. You can be as creative as you wish. But what I am asking you to do is prepare a presentation that tells me everything we would need to know about you. When you start with us in September, in the first few weeks of term, we will be dedicating some tutor time slots to our All About Me presentations. And this is where you have an opportunity to share with your form a little bit about you. Now, on pages 10, we've given you some things that you might want to include in your presentation. So who you are, a little bit about your family and your home life, what your hobbies are, maybe some highlights from your primary school, or equally, the best bits about you. So your best achievement, what you're going to challenge yourself to do. Honestly, this can be as big as you want it to be and can include as much as you want it to include. But this is a really good opportunity for you to tell your form a little bit about you and also get to know everybody within your form and build your identity as the new Year 7 classes, all right? But don't feel as if this is all just being put on you. I promise you that when you start with us in September, both myself and your tutors will do an All About Me presentation, and that will give you an opportunity to just learn a little bit more about us as you start with us in September. So it's a two-way process. We will get planning hours, but now is the chance for you to get planning yours. So again, you can either pause this presentation now and get starting planning out your All About Me presentation, or take note of this slide, remember what I've said, and get started on this towards the end of our taster day and work on this throughout the summer holidays so that when you start with us in September, you are ready to go with your presentations. Now, the next pages that I would like to draw your attention to are all things timetable, and you can find some information on pages 11 and 12 that will help you in being able to understand our timetable at Herts Essex. Now, a few things that I want to draw your attention to. We work on a fortnightly timetable, and you have a week A and a week B, all right? So over week A and week B, you will have all of your subjects with your relevant teachers, and your timetable will show you what day, what lesson, what subject, what room, and what teacher you have. Now, you will be given a paper copy of your timetable when you start with us in September, and there is an option for you to write this into your planner and your student handbook that you get given as well when you start with us. So that then means that you have your timetable in two places. You have your paper copy as well as being able to write that into your planner. What we also have is your timetable will be on Firefly. So you can always check that at home if you were a little bit uncertain. Now, I love all things colourful and have a little bit of an obsession with stationery. So whenever I get my timetable out for the year, showing me all the lessons that I am teaching, I always get a little bit creative and I colour these in. So certain classes I will colour in one colour, other classes I will colour in the other colour, and it just gives me a really easy way to try and decipher my timetable. So if you work with colour and if you like things all bright and colourful, then I would definitely encourage you to get creative with that timetable when you get it in September. Now, the last little thing that I wanted to touch on to do with the timetable is the room change board. Now, if you watched the tour of the school video, you will already have heard a little bit about the room change board, but your timetable will tell you where your lessons are pretty much 99.99999% of the time. But on the rare occasion that your room has to be changed for whatever reason, that's not obviously shown on your timetable, but will be shown on the room change board. So your timetable doesn't update with those room changes, all right? We obviously can't update the paper copy every single time, but just check the room change board every day, make that part of your process and part of your routine when you come into school, and that alongside your timetable will make sure you get to the right place at the right time. Now, again, you can have a go at this now, or you can do this at the end of the presentation, but I would encourage you to pause this presentation now, look at the tasks we've set you on pages 11 and 12, and see if you can decipher that sample timetable that we have given you. On page 15, you have our facts about my new school page, and this is information that you should now be able to know as a result of all things Tasterday. Now, you can get this information from the school website, the student information booklet that Miss Patel has spoken through, our Twitter pages, so the school one, as well as our Year 6 transition Twitter page, as well as from all of the videos to do with our Tasterday, and some of this information may even be in your starting at booklet. So become detectives, get hunting, and see if you can find out all of the information that give you all the need to know facts about your new school. You can pause the presentation again and see if you can complete page 15 now. Now, the last page that I want to draw your attention to in the Starting At booklet is page 17. And this is one of my favourite pages of the Starting At booklet. And this is a page dedicated to quotes from our current Year 7 students. They very much wanted to get involved and help you out with the transition from primary to secondary school. And as I said earlier, only a year ago, they were in your shoes. So I hope that reading through the quotes from the students gives you that little bit of reassurance, as well as makes you feel that it's not as big and it's as scary as it may seem, and that actually being at Herts Essex is pretty good. And that's me actually being a bit modest there. It's better than pretty good. It is amazing. And I really hope that everything from today's Tasterday, as well as this Starting At booklet and all of the information that we have given you, gives you a little bit of reassurance to make this a little less daunting and makes you a little bit more excited for starting with us in September. With that being said, I am very much aware of the fact that some of you may still have questions. So if there are questions that haven't been answered, then please, please, please complete the Microsoft form. Give us some feedback on Tasterday and ask any questions that you may have. And Miss Patel and I will then make sure we get back to you to hopefully get you all in a position where you are feeling comfortable, you are feeling confident, and you feel assured about starting with us at Herts Essex. So all that is left to be said is that I hope you all have a lovely summer holiday. I hope that you all stay safe. I hope you all can get up to some exciting and wonderful things wherever you may be. And I really am looking forward to seeing you all in September and starting a new school year in what is bound to be the best year group ever. But shh, don't tell anyone else. All right. Take care, girls, and I will see you soon.